Right now, there are terabytes of incredibly beautiful, intricate AI-generated art just sitting on Amazon KDP servers that hasn't made a single cent.
Oh, yeah. It's a massive graveyard of digital assets.
Exactly. People thought the arrival of tools like Midjourney and ChatGPT meant they basically had a vending machine for passive income.
Right. Just push a button and get paid.
But what if I told you that creating a successful AI coloring book has almost nothing to do with generating images at all?
It's the ultimate paradox of this whole, current digital gold rush.
Welcome to today's deep dive, by the way. Our mission today is to strip away the hype and really take the mystery out of turning artificial intelligence into a legitimate passive income publishing business.
Because the technology lowered the barrier to entry to absolute zero,
Right.
which meant millions of people just sprinted into the market.
But they brought zero strategy with them, and that failure rate is exactly why we're diving into our source material today. We are analyzing a really comprehensive guide called the AI Coloring Book Blueprint System by E.L.A Cameron of E.L.A.'s KDP Academy.
It is a phenomenal teardown of the whole process. Rather than just giving you a list of cool prompts, the blueprint breaks down the exact architecture of researching, branding, and scaling profitable coloring books.
And it focuses entirely on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the core realization of this blueprint, the thing that flips the script, is that success here relies on data, psychology, and ruthless consistency.
Yeah, not just making pretty pictures.
Right. And we should probably start with why KDP specifically is the holy grail for this kind of digital asset business.
Yeah.
I mean, KDP is incredible because you have zero inventory, no warehouse costs, and instant global reach.
The cash flow dynamics of print on demand are just unbeatable for an independent creator.
Oh, absolutely.
Because in a traditional model, you're fronting thousands of dollars for a print run. You're storing pallets of books in your garage.
And handling shipping yourself. Exactly. With KDP, you just engineer the digital asset once. The moment a customer in London or Tokyo clicks buy, Amazon's local facility prints that single copy. They ship it, they handle customer service.
Your only job is to create a catalog of assets that capture search intent. But, that absolute accessibility is kind of a double-edged sword.
It really is.
Because the moment everyone got access to AI image generators, we saw what the blueprint calls the random AI trap. People were just sitting at their laptops, punching in whatever trendy idea popped into their heads.
Yeah, downloading 100 disconnected images, binding them into a PDF, and then just waiting for the royalty checks to roll in.
Right. But wait, I have to push back on that a little bit.
Okay, go for it.
Isn't the defining superpower of AI its ability to generate massive volume and infinite variety? Why is variety a bad thing here?
Yeah.
Think about it like a mixtape. If I compile an incredibly diverse set of styles and subjects, aren't I giving the buyer more value?
I mean, a mixtape is fantastic for a road trip, right? But it completely shatters the cognitive flow required for a targeted activity like coloring.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, if you look at the mechanics of user engagement, a successful coloring book is an immersive, unified experience. It establishes a visual grammar.
So it has to make sense as a whole.
Exactly. If page 1 has a character with heavy, bold, cartoonish outlines, and then page 2 suddenly shifts to a hyper-detailed, thin-lined geometric mandala.
And then page 3 is like a grayscale, photorealistic landscape.
Right, you break the spell. A customer buys a specific book to enter a specific mental state. The user has to constantly recalibrate how they engage with the page if the style keeps changing.
That makes perfect sense. Consistency is the invisible glue that transforms a pile of random generations into a premium product, something people will actually leave a 5-star review for.
And to achieve that cohesion, the blueprint demands a massive mindset shift regarding how we interact with the AI itself.
You have to stop viewing the AI as a magical outsourced artist that just does the work for you.
You have to elevate it to the role of a creative partner. It's a brainstorming buddy, a market researcher, and a prompt architect.
The moment you stop passively taking whatever the AI gives you, you transition from a hobbyist to an actual publisher, which transitions us perfectly into the core engine of the blueprint, the E.L.A method.
Because random results rarely build successful brands. We need a repeatable system.
Right. E.L.A stands for Examine, Learn, Adapt. But before the author even lets you touch the AI, she addresses this really harsh reality in Chapter 1.
The single biggest trap new publishers fall into.
The passion project trap.
Yes. The overwhelming temptation to create what you personally want to see exist in the world.
Like, say you are absolutely obsessed with steampunk cats.
Right, so you spend a month painstakingly generating 50 flawless steampunk cat illustrations, but you're completely blind to the fact that there is zero measurable market demand for it.
What's fascinating here is the psychological blind spot that creates. We naturally assume our taste represents the market. We think, oh, this is beautiful, therefore it's valuable.
But the market is entirely agnostic to your personal taste. The market is a brutal meritocracy based on search volume.
Wow, yeah.
Our job isn't to guess what people might want. Our job is to investigate what the market is already actively searching for and then make the best version of it.
I really want you, the listener, to think about your own passion projects for a second. How many times have we poured weeks of our lives into a brilliant idea only to launch it into the void and hear absolute crickets?
It happens all the time.
We skip the validation phase because the creation phase is more fun. We don't check if the audience actually exists.
It is the most expensive mistake you can make, honestly, both in time and morale. But the blueprint neutralizes that risk with a very specific equation.
Demand plus opportunity plus originality equals a winning niche.
Exactly.
Let's tear that equation down to the studs, starting with demand and opportunity. Because asking your friends on Facebook if they'd buy your book doesn't count. We need hard data.
Right. When someone types a keyword into the Amazon search bar, they're literally telling you what they want to buy. They're stating an explicit, financially backed intent.
They're handing you a map of their desires. And to read that map, the blueprint utilizes a niche-finding tool called Bookbeam to scrape Amazon's back-end data.
Yeah, Bookbeam is incredibly powerful for this.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The blueprint doesn't just tell you to look for high search volume. It gives you highly specific metrics to find the sweet spot.
It gives you the exact filters.
First, you isolate the data to self-published books only. Why? Because comparing your new KDP book to a multi-million-dollar Disney licensing deal is totally useless.
We only care about what independent creators are achieving.
Next, you set the bestsellers rank, or BSR, to a maximum of 30,000.
The BSR is basically the pulse of the product.
Yeah.
And a BSR under 30,000 is the magic threshold here.
Because it proves it's selling consistently, right?
Exactly. On Amazon, a BSR of 1,000 means a book is moving massive volume every hour. But a BSR of 30,000 translates to a steady, reliable drip of daily sales.
So it's not just a temporary viral spike.
Right. It proves the niche has a consistent heartbeat.
Okay, so a BSR under 30K proves people are actively buying right now. But what about the competition? Because the next filter requires finding books that have fewer than 30 reviews.
Yes.
Now, intuitively, that sounds backwards. Don't we want to study the giants in the space? The books with 5,000 glowing reviews?
If you target a keyword where the top 10 results all have thousands of reviews, you are walking into a slaughterhouse.
A slaughterhouse.
You will never rank on page 1. Finding a book with a BSR under 30,000, meaning it's highly profitable today, but with fewer than 30 reviews, is like finding a crack in the armor of the market.
It's an undefended citadel. It means the market appetite is so voracious that buyers are willing to purchase a completely unproven book just to get what they want.
Precisely. It signals a blue ocean opportunity.
So we have the demand and the opportunity mapped out. But earlier you mentioned the third pillar, originality. If we found a profitable, low-competition niche, shouldn't we just copy what the incumbent is doing?
No, because emulation leads to commoditization. If you just copy the existing book, you're entering a race to the bottom on price.
Ah, I see.
You have to take that proven demand and pivot it just enough to capture a dedicated sub-niche. You apply a modifier.
Right. So if Bookbeam tells us the core niche of cozy coloring books is extremely profitable, we don't abandon the cozy demand. We just add a twist.
Like a cozy Parisian coloring book or cozy bookstore.
The niche stays proven, but the angle becomes uniquely yours. Okay, so we have our validated original niche. Now we enter the examine stage of the E.L.A method.
This is where you walk through the process of investigating a winning competitor book.
Like a detective, we're tearing it apart.
But the goal isn't to copy their line art. The goal is to understand the customer experience. You are looking at what the 5-star reviews are praising and what the 3-star reviews are complaining about.
The blueprint offers a brilliant case study here. They analyze a competitor book called the Make This Look coloring book.
Oh, this is a fascinating example.
The concept is so incredibly simple. You turn the page, and there is just a basic thick-line drawing of a donut. But beneath it, there's a text prompt that says, make this look like alien frosting, or gold drip, or monster eye.
At first glance, a publisher would look at that and think, okay, the market wants simple drawings of pastries.
But if you actually read the reviews, you realize that hypothesis is dead wrong. They do not care about the donut.
The donut is just a vehicle. What's actually happening here is that customers are buying an experience.
Yes.
They're buying a framework that lowers the barrier to their own creativity.
Yeah.
Staring at a completely blank piece of paper is terrifying for most adults.
It induces total performance anxiety.
But giving them a simple outline and a bizarre, low-stakes prompt completely removes that anxiety. They're buying imagination.
There is a quote from the source material that sums this up perfectly. There are no wrong answers, only glorious disasters. People are spending money to buy the permission to make glorious disasters.
Once you recognize that underlying emotional mechanism, your entire strategy changes. You realize you aren't selling paper with ink on it. You're engineering a psychological release valve.
And think about how liberating that is for the creator. You don't have to invent a new artistic genre. You just look at the review data, pinpoint the emotional need, and ask your AI partner, how do we deliver this specific feeling?
Which seamlessly transitions us into the adapt stage. We have the data, we understand the psychology. Now, how do we use AI to create our original adaptation?
The blueprint has very strict rules for this prompt architecture. We are talking 8.5 by 8.5 inches.
Right, a perfect square.
Clean, black and white vector-style line art, thick, continuous outlines, and crucially, single-sided pages.
Those are not arbitrary aesthetic choices. They are engineering requirements based on how KDP works and how users interact with the medium.
Because if a line is broken or sketchy, the user's color bleeds outside the boundary.
Exactly. And if you print double-sided, the moment a customer uses a marker, the ink bleeds straight through the paper and destroys the illustration on the reverse side.
The product is ruined, and the one-star reviews will tank your BSR overnight.
But forcing an advanced AI model to draw simple, continuous line art is actually really hard. Models like Midjourney are trained to maximize aesthetic complexity.
They desperately want to add hyper-realistic lighting and intricate textures.
Because to the AI, detail equates to quality. But grayscale shading is a death sentence for a coloring book. You can't color over a dark gray shadow with a yellow pencil. It looks muddy.
Which is why the blueprint introduces the technical secret to making it print-ready, the negative prompt. You have to tell the AI exactly what not to do.
You build a cage around it.
The blueprint's negative prompt is exhaustive. No shading, no shadows, no gradients, no textures, no sketch lines, no grayscale, no color.
You are mathematically penalizing those specific elements to force it to output a stark, printable canvas.
And once you successfully wrestle the AI into producing that perfect, crisp image, let's say it's the initial donut we talked about, you have achieved what the blueprint calls your master prompt.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the master prompt is genius. It solves the mixtape problem we talked about earlier.
Right, because if you just type a new prompt for every single page, the AI will sample different training data and the style will fluctuate wildly.
But the master prompt freezes the technical and stylistic elements. It locks in the line thickness, the perspective, the restrictions. Once that architecture is frozen, you only alter the subject variable.
So page 1 is the donut with the alien frosting prompt. For page 2, you use the exact same master prompt, but you swap donut for ice cream cone and the text to cotton candy swirl.
Exactly. Because the stylistic framing remains mathematically identical, the AI generates the ice cream cone in the exact same visual universe as the donut.
The character of the book remains impeccably cohesive from page 1 to page 50. It basically turns a chaotic generation process into a reliable assembly line.
And speaking of assembly, the blueprint covers the final technical hurdles of KDP formatting. Because you don't just upload a folder of JPEGs.
Right, you compile them in software like Canva. You manually insert a blank page behind every single drawing to solve that marker bleed-through problem. You add a copyright page.
And critically, you must handle the color profiling correctly for the cover. Computer screens use RGB, but KDP's physical printers use CMYK ink.
Oh, right. If you generate a neon pink cover in RGB and upload it directly, the physical book is going to look muddy and dull.
Because CMYK physically cannot replicate those neon light values. You have to save the file as PDF print CMYK to ensure the physical product matches the digital expectation.
So what does this all mean? We started this deep dive looking at the massive graveyard of failed AI art on Amazon.
Yeah, and the ultimate takeaway here is that the AI coloring book blueprint system isn't really a masterclass on AI art at all.
Not at all. The AI is merely the engine. The blueprint is the roadmap. It's a masterclass in market validation, reverse engineering success, and building structured systems instead of relying on random luck.
It completely reframes the value of the creator in the modern digital economy. The blueprint explicitly states AI doesn't replace creativity, it amplifies it.
That is such a vital distinction, especially with all the anxiety surrounding these tools right now.
It really is.
Think about the implications. We are standing on the precipice of a world where AI can generate infinite variations of content in milliseconds. If a machine can execute the physical act of creation flawlessly and instantly, then the true value of a human being is no longer in the making of the art.
It forces us to ask what our actual utility is.
Right. If the execution is free, the value shifts entirely to the strategy. Perhaps our true value moving forward will lie strictly in our empathy and our analytical skills.
The human becomes the curator of intent. The machine just holds the paintbrush.
Our ability to look at a sea of data, understand the subtle emotional needs of another human being, and know exactly what specific experience the world actually wants to consume.
Exact.
It's a profound shift in perspective. So, the next time you sit down at your keyboard, tempted to just type in a random idea and see what pretty picture pops out, remember that the real magic isn't in the algorithm. The real magic is in doing the hard work to know exactly what spell your audience is waiting to experience.